Selections from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Part 24, Vedanta and its application to Indian life. Section 2. Coming to our commentators again, we find another difficulty. The Advaitic commentator, whenever an Advaitic text comes, preserves it just as it is. But the same commentator, as soon as a dualistic text presents itself, tortures it if he can and brings the most queer meaning out of it. Sometimes the unborn becomes a goat, such are the wonderful changes effected. To suit the commentator, Aja, the unborn, is explained as Aja, a she-goat. In the same way, if not in a still worse fashion, the texts are handled by the dualistic commentator. Every dualistic text is preserved, and every text that speaks of non-dualistic philosophy is tortured in any fashion he likes. This Sanskrit language is so intricate, the Sanskrit of the Vedas is so ancient, and the Sanskrit philology so perfect that any amount of discussion can be carried on for ages in regard to the meaning of one word. If a Pandit takes it to his head, he can render anybody's prattle into correct Sanskrit by force of argument and quotation of text and rules. These are the difficulties in our way of understanding the Upanishads. It was given to me to live with a man who was as ardent a dualist, as ardent an Advaitist, as ardent a Bhakta, as a Jnani. And living with this man first put into my head to understand the Upanishads and the text of the scriptures from an independent and better basis than by blindly following the commentators. And in my opinion and in my researches, I came to the conclusion that these texts are not at all contradictory. So we need to have no fear of text torturing at all. The texts are beautiful, aye, they are most wonderful, and they are not contradictory, but wonderfully harmonious, one idea leading up to the other. But the one fact I found is that in all the Upanishads they begin with dualistic ideas, with worship and all that, and end with a grand flourish of Advaitic ideas. Therefore, I now find in the light of this man's life that the dualist and the Advaitist need not fight each other. Each has a place and a great place in the national life. The dualist must remain, for he is as much part and parcel of the national religious life as the Advaitist. One cannot exist without the other. One is the fulfillment of the other. One is the building, the other is the top. One the root, other the fruit. And so on. Therefore, any attempt to torture the text of the Upanishads appears to me very ridiculous. I begin to find out that the language is very wonderful. Apart from all its merits as a great philosophy, apart from its wonderful merit as theology, as showing the path of salvation to mankind, the Upanishadic literature is the most wonderful painting of sublimity that the world has. Here comes out in full force that the individuality of the human mind, that introspective, intuitive Hindu mind. We have paintings of sublimity elsewhere in all nations, but almost without exception, you will find that their ideal is to grasp the sublime in the muscles. Take for instance Milton, Dante, Homer, or any other Western poets. There are wonderfully sublime passages in them, but there it is always a grasping at infinity through the senses, the muscles, getting the ideal of infinite expansion, infinite of space. We find the same attempts made in the Samhita portion. You know some of those wonderful rigs where creation is described, the very heights of expression of the sublime in expansion and the infinite in space are attained. But they found out very soon that the infinite cannot be reached in that way, that even infinite space and expansion and infinite external nature could not express the ideas that were struggling to find expression in their minds, and so they fell back upon other explanations. The language became new in the Upanishads. It is almost negative. It is sometimes chaotic, sometimes taking you beyond the senses, pointing out to you something which you cannot grasp, which you cannot sense, and at the same time you feel certain that it is there. What passage in the world can compare with this? न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति Kutoyam agnihi. There the sun cannot illumine, nor the moon, nor the stars. The flash of lightning cannot illumine the place. What to speak of this mortal fire? Again, where can you find a more perfect expression of the whole philosophy of the world, the gist of what the Hindus ever thought, the whole dream of human salvation, painted in language more wonderful, in figure more marvelous than this? द्वासुपर्णा सयुजा सकाया समानं वृक्षं परिशस्वजाते तयोरन्यः पिप्पलं स्वादत्यन्न अश्वन्नन्यो अभिचाकशीति समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नो अनीशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यत्यन्यमीशम् अस्य महिमानमिति वीतशोकः. Upon the same tree there are two birds of beautiful plumage, most friendly to each other, one eating the fruits, the other sitting there calm and silent without eating. The one on the lower branch eating the sweet and bitter fruits in turn and becoming happy and unhappy, but the other one on the top, calm and majestic, he eats neither sweet nor bitter fruits, cares neither for happiness nor misery, immersed in his own glory. This is a picture of the human soul. Man is eating the sweet and bitter fruits of this life, pursuing gold, pursuing his senses, pursuing the vanities of life, hopelessly, madly careering he goes. In other places, the Upanishads have compared the human soul to the charioteer and the senses to the mad horses, unrestrained. Such is the career of men pursuing the vanities of life, children dreaming golden dreams, only to find that they are but vain, and old men chewing the cud of their past deeds, and yet not knowing how to get out of this network. This is the world. Yet in the life of every one there come golden moments in the midst of the deepest sorrows, nay, of the deepest joys. There come moments when a part of the cloud that hides the sunlight moves away as it were, and we catch a glimpse, in spite of ourselves, of something beyond. Away, away beyond the life of the senses, away, away beyond its vanities, its joys and its sorrows, away, away beyond nature or our imaginations of happiness here or hereafter, away beyond all thirst for gold or for fame or for name or for posterity. Man stops for a moment at this glimpse and sees the other bird calm and majestic, eating neither sweet nor bitter fruits, but immersed in his own glory, self-content, self-satisfied. As the Gita says, Yastvatmaratirev syat atmatriptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. He whose devotion is to the Atman, he who does not want anything beyond Atman, he who has become satisfied in the Atman, what work is there for him to do? Why should he drudge? Man catches a glimpse, then again he forgets, and goes on eating the sweet and bitter fruits of life. Perhaps after a time he catches another glimpse, and the lower bird goes nearer and nearer to the higher bird as blows after blows are received. If he be fortunate to receive hard knocks, then he comes nearer and nearer to his companion, the other bird, his life, his friend, and as he approaches him, he finds that the light from the higher bird is playing round his own plumage. And as he comes nearer and nearer, lo, the transformation is going on. The nearer and nearer he comes, he finds himself melting away, as it were, until he has entirely disappeared. He did not really exist. It was but the reflection of the other bird who was there calm and majestic amidst the moving leaves. It was all his glory, that upper bird's. He then becomes fearless, perfectly satisfied, calmly serene. In this figure, the Upanishads take you from the dualistic to the utmost Advaitic conception. Endless examples can be cited, but we have no time in this lecture to do that or to show the marvelous poetry of the Upanishads, the painting of the sublime, the grand conceptions. But one other idea I must note, that the language and the thought and everything come direct. They fall upon you like a sword blade. Strong as the blows of a hammer they come. There is no mistaking their meanings. Every tone of that music is firm and produces its full effect. No gyrations, no mad words, no intricacies in which the brain is lost. No signs of degradation are there, no attempts at too much allegorizing, too much piling of adjectives after adjectives, making it more and more intricate till the whole of the sense is lost and the brain becomes giddy and the man does not know his way out from the maze of that literature. There was none of that yet. If it be human literature, it must be the production of a race which had not yet lost any of its national vigor.